What is up, everyone? Derek Vanderlinder here, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to use trend lines. Trend lines, very important throughout trading. We can do so many different things with trend lines, and the market respects trend lines in so many different ways. So take note, it is March 11th. My wife just had our baby. I'm a little tired, but that's all right because I want to bust out these videos as much as I can for you guys. I mean, this is really what's motivating me right now. Just bringing value to you, and that's all I really want to do. So let's get started here. Now take note, the second half of this video was filmed at a different time, which is fine. The beginning part of this video, I messed up the sound. It's all good though. I'm gonna make it right, and let's get started here. Okay, so again, I want to thank you guys for being here. I am super stoked to have you. The channel's growing already. That makes me super happy. That means I'm bringing value to at least someone, and that's all that matters to me. So that going forward, let's just get started on learning, okay? So what is a trend line in the Forex market? Trend lines are a staple for technical analysis Forex traders that can be used on any currency pair and any different time frame that's on the market, okay? So by definition, a trend line is two or more connecting lows or two or more connecting highs with the lines projected in the future. Now, trend lines are easily recognizable lines that traders draw on charts, connect a series of prices together, and then it shows the data from the past, okay? So I'm going to teach you more about it, and in the second half of the video, I hope you really understand what is really going on with trend lines and how I really use them. So right here, we have a bullish trend line. Now, if you look, we have many times the market rejected this trend line here. And what this is just price. If you look left, meaning look in the past, we can use this trend line as a potential area, bullish entry area, okay? If it lines up with our trading patterns and everything that's going on in the market, we can use this to determine a specific trade setup. So let's pretend that for this level 4 right here, because we have four touches in this area, in this general area, and this is the hour time frame. So remember, each one of these little candles right here is 1 hour long. Now let's say that we have this marked up. We're already on the trend line right here, but let's pretend that the market's like down here. And none of this happened in here. So what we can do in this type of scenario, when it comes down to this trend line, we can look on the lower time frames to see if one of our setups is present. And if one of our setups is present on the trend line, when it touches right here, then we can take that trade based on the confluence on the 1 hour time frame and use that to our advantage for the lower time frames, okay? So that's how I use trend lines. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to a bearish trend line, which means the market's in a downtrend. Now, remember, the same thing goes here. So let's pretend, 4 has not happened yet. It comes up, touches the trend line, and one of our patterns shows up on number 4. Then I can take that short based on the confluence, along with the other things, of course, knowing that, hey, this is a trade that I want to be in based on the scenario that we're in. And that's how I honestly use trend lines. I use higher time frame trend lines, or even the time frame we're on occasionally will work. Actually, it will work a lot, but oftentimes, let's say we have like a 4 hour trend line. Oftentimes we'll have a better pattern on the lower time frames. And when I'm trading on the lower time frames, I use my stop loss and take profit based on the lower time frame. So I'm not trading based on that 4 hour trend line touch. I'm based on what pattern I am trading on what time frame it is. So let's say on 4 we have a shark fin right here on like the 15-minute time frame or something. I'm going to take my trade based on that 15-minute chart right there, my take profit levels and my stop loss levels. And you're going to learn a ton more about this in the future throughout this course. I have a whole video wrapped around that. So that's how I use trend lines. You're going to see a perfect example in the second half of this video on how it really works, okay? So it's very exciting. I get pretty excited in the video because of the fact that I was just marking up trend lines and it did exactly what it always does and how I make money, how I make a living based on what I teach you in the second half on this video. So it's very exciting. We'll go to this last part here. Now, to draw a trend line, we must have at least 2 points, remember? Like I said, we had 4 on both those last ones, but we at least need to have 2 touches on that trend line for the third touch to be an actual potential move for us to take. Because with only 2 points, we don't really have enough data to give us an example of a move that we should be in. We want to have that third touch, fourth touch, fifth touch, and if everything lines up, then that's when I take my trade, okay? So like I was saying here, I use trend lines to add extra area of confluence to a potential trade setup. So going forward, you're gonna learn about this in the second half of this video. So I'm gonna see you right there. Okay guys, so we are on GBP CAD. We're on the weekly time frame. I just want to show you exactly what I look for in the current time of the market whenever I get on to look at my charts. This is the first thing I do when I'm seeing what the market could be potentially doing, okay? So I pull up my trend line here and I want to figure out where price is reacting to the most. So if I draw my trend line here, I want to get as many touches as I possibly can. So if I draw it like this, now some people, this may not be the conventional way to do it, but for me, I want to see where price is reacting the most. Now, as you can see here, the market broke through the trend line right here, which it's going to do at times. And it broke through the trend line, and what it did was it couldn't break through the support level right here. So it finally couldn't break through the support level and finally came back up and went back into its trend here. Now, as you can see, if I were to mark up my trend line right here, which is what I would do. So let me delete that here. So this is what I'm looking at the market right now, because we have 6 touches here. So we touch right here. Here's our first touch, second touch. Now, price didn't react to the trend line right here, but as it broke through, came back, it reacted to the trend line 4 times right here after this happened. So that's what I'm noticing on my bottom trend line. But if I look right throughout here, I can kind of see a certain pattern happening as well. And I want to know what that is. So I'm going to mark my trend line from right here and see if we can get a ton of touches. Now, what this will be doing potentially is showing us a potential buy in the market. So we're on the weekly time frame, and if I zoom out here, so let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can get a clear picture of what I just marked up. So as you can see, we're on the top here. We have 1 touch where price rejected, 2 touches, 3, 4, and then it's just kind of clustered in here. Now it finally broke that. So what we're waiting for in this instance on the weekly time frame, or what I'm looking for, is I'm looking for the weekly time frame to come down and match up with the trend line retracement here. And what that's going to do is that's going to line up with our 50 moving average as well. But this is what the market's doing. This is what I'm seeing. Okay, so we're on GBP CAD now. I want to see what I'll do as well is I'll mark off exactly where we are. So as you see, I just put a horizontal line right here. And the reason is because I want to see what's going on exactly right now on the lower time frame. So we're going to head over to the daily time frame to see if we have anything in the market that's telling us something. Okay, so we're going to go to the daily right here. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to remove all my drawings just to show you exactly what I do. So let's find a pattern on the daily time frame right here. So I'm going to use my trend line and I'm going to see if anything is happening in the market that could be happening potentially closer than what I just marked off on my weekly time frame. So price on the daily time frame is really reacting to this level right here. So what we could potentially see is we could potentially see the market break through this moving average and come down and retouch this trend line here. So what I do is I react to what the market does. Now, that's not really telling me much, but I can also see something else potentially. So I always play around with my trend lines to see where price is reacting to the most in the current market cycle, okay? So this is what I would probably have drawn up right here. What I would have drawn up. Now, as you can see, price reacted to this trend line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 10 times. So it's obviously has significance of something that's going on in the market, okay? And what this is this is just, technical analysis showing us what could be potentially happening in the market, but this is exactly what I do. So I'm on the daily time frame now, and I'm just looking for areas where price is reacting to the market. And as you can see, I know this is the right trend line here because we broke through this level. Finally, right here, we finally broke through this level in here, and we came down, made a retracement back down, finally reversing off. So this was a clear level right here. Now, at this point, and this is why it's important. So let's say we are right here on the market. And this is just what we see. Now, what we can see here is that price obviously broke through the trend line here. And what we're waiting for is a trend line retracement, okay? So what I want to see here, let me get my arrow. I want to see the market come down to right to the trend line, and then I want to see it reject that trend line right there, just like that. So it's a trend line retracement, but what we want to be seeing, and this is how I mark it off, this is how I look exactly when I'm trading for a potential move. So I put my horizontal line here now, exactly where we would be touching on the retracement, okay? So that's right there, and I look to see if we have any area of importance from our resist or our support line right here, okay? So that's what I'm waiting for. Other than that, I can't really see anything that's happening in the market. I'm just noting in my head that, hey, we have a potential daily time frame trend retracement move coming up. Now, since it's the daily time frame, what I'm taking note on here is that I might want to be looking for potential shorts on the lower time frames if there's any specific move, because I have a very good inkling that the market's going to come down to retest this trend line. So that's what I'm waiting for on the daily time frame. Now let's go to the 4-hour time frame here. Now, since this is happening, this is what we want to see. So we have our 800 moving average, our 200 moving average, which is this blue line, and then we have the obviously the trend line retracement from that daily coming up. So what I like about this potential setup here is that we have the 200 moving average coming together with the trend line retracement. So I'm keeping that locked in my head, knowing what could potentially be coming in the market. So now I'm going to go to the hour time frame. Now the hour time frame, we have the 800 moving average right here, which will line up exactly where we could potentially be in the market, okay? So we're going to play this up to right in here. Now look at this. Oh, such a beautiful trade. Holy cow. Okay, so we're going to replay this. We're going to replay this to right here. And this is exactly what we look for. I'm so glad that this just came up. So what we have here is a beautiful shark fin off the 800 moving average. And you're going to be learning about the shark fin here in a couple videos. So I'm excited. But this is exactly what I like to see. We have the trend line retracement. We have the 800 moving average with the shark fin. We have our support that turned into resistance right here. And this is where I look for a potential buy. Okay, so I would buy this move right here in a heartbeat. This is my absolute favorite type of move. I've made so much money with these types of moves. Now, they're not always going to happen on the 1 hour time frame. These will happen on the 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 minute. My first 3 years of my trading career, I literally traded the 1 minute chart. And this is how I got so good at recognizing patterns. Not only am I really good at pattern recognition, but by watching the 1 minute chart so many times, this is how I picked up on these moves on the higher time frame here. So we have this this shark fin on the 1 hour time frame. We're on the 800 moving average. Now watch how this plays out. This is a shark fin on the 1 hour here. Watch how this plays out here. Just immediately rockets up, just immediately. And these moves, I catch so many of these moves. It's just the best thing. Just very little drawdown. Just as you can see, that just made me really excited because this is how I live right here. This is what I do. So very cool stuff. This is exactly what I look for. So when it came down again and hit off that 800 moving average, I'm buying. I am buying that trade 1,000 times over because we already have so many areas of confluence within this trade. But that's just what I'm noticing based on that. So just working my way down from the weekly time frame down to the hour, I found a move in the market right in here, right what I wanted to see. So I had my horizontal line down here waiting for this move to happen. This is exactly what I wanted to happen. It happened. I'm in this buy. I'm holding my trade to a certain level, which you guys will learn about. But that's what I'm looking for in the market, okay? I'm looking for the market to give me these clues that there's a potential area of importance that I should be in combined with my trading pattern, okay? So let's just pick one more pair just to have some fun. Let's go to US 30, okay? So I'm gonna remove all my drawings here. Now, this is on the hour time frame. Let's go to the weekly time frame here. Let's reset our chart. Now, I can already see areas of significance within this on the weekly time frame. So we have two areas. Let me grab my trend line here. We have two areas right here where market, if we were to have marked this up, this would have been a very clear buy on the weekly time frame. And when you're on US 30, we all know that it can move like crazy and you can make a ton of money on US 30. But let's pretend we are right here in the market. What I'm doing is I am waiting for it to come down to the trend line, okay? So I want to put a horizontal line right here to where the market would meet up with the trend line, okay? So I have my trend line waiting right there. Now I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen when the market comes down to that trend line, okay? So now what I do is I go down to the daily time frame and here's what I see right in here. So I see that the market is potentially going to come touch this trend line right here. We're on the 50 moving average, so I'm going to wait to see when it comes to the actual trend line here. So we're on the daily. That's what I'm looking for. Now let's zoom out to see if we can see anything else that's telling us that the market's going to do something potential, okay? So I see a trend where it looks like price is reacting to this level in here. So we're at an important time in the market because market broke this high right here, broke this trend line right in here. So as you can see, the market, and it's not perfect, but the price is rejecting off of this top trend line right here. Now, when it came down and broke it, now what we could potentially see, obviously, if it breaks this, we're going to see it drop lower, but we want it to come down here and still see what it does on that trend line. And if we have a specific trade set up on that trend line, we can take that buy because we have that extra security of confluence. Okay, so now let's go to the 4-hour time frame, and I'm not seeing anything, but I'm going to press play here. Okay, so market finally came down to that level. Let me reverse this right in here. So market came to this level, and we had a pretty nasty move down. Okay, so we had a bearish move in here. Now we have a lot of volume within this one candle here. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, we're on that trend line right here. I'm not noticing anything that tells me I should be in this buy. Okay, so now we'll go to the 1-hour time frame here. We're on that horizontal line. Now, I can't really tell. Let me look at the weekly time frame to see if it's on that trend line for sure, and it is. So I'm going to go back down to that 1-hour time frame. And we have so much momentum in this move. This isn't a move that I would be in. So after it broke this trend line, right, or this little trend line right here, it's pretty much telling us that the market's going to go to its next area of importance, as you can see it did. So it broke this little trend line, and if I look back, it probably has more significance than just these 3 touches, but it broke that. Now we're going to see the next area of importance come into play. So the 1 hour is not giving us a specific move. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame. Now the 30-minute time frame is giving us a shark fin off this level right here. Now it's not a great shark fin that I can see, but it is a shark fin nonetheless. So now we will look at the 15-minute time frame, and we might get more confluence to why we should be in this trade. So we have a shark fin on the 15-minute time frame here. Now I'm going to take a look at the 5-minute, and the 5 minutes just very ugly and divergent here. So we'll look at the 15-minute right in here, and if we were to play out this buy based on this shark fin, based on the weekly time frame trend line and our resist or support right here, it would obviously play out exactly how it did right there. And we would be taking our profit right in this region, actually, because this is obviously an area of importance, and I personally take profit on areas of structure, okay? But this shark fin worked out exactly how it was supposed to. So when you set that up with, you saw the support, you saw the trend line on the weekly time frames. Now, when you add those up and you match those together, you just grab more confluence. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those specific things on how to use trend lines to our advantage. Now, let's just go over some basic examples on how to mark up trend lines, okay? So let's go to CAD CHF right throughout here. Let's go. Okay, so let's just pull up GBP CHF right here, and we're gonna go to the weekly time frame. Okay, so what I can see right now, we have a let me reset this chart so we can see it better. Let me remove our drawings, and I think we have right up here a trend line that was broken. So that's what I'm looking for right here. It looks like that trend line was broken right here. So we're on the weekly. I'm just taking note in that, okay? Now, if you noticed, I zoomed out a little bit because oftentimes it will give us better answers. So let's, again, we want to get as many touches as we possibly can throughout this. So right here we have 1, 2, it broke it right here. But we have 5 touches within here. Now, when this happened, we have a shark fin right now, but we broke the trend line. So yes, this could sell, and when it sells, it will probably sell and retest this trend line here before working its way back up towards the 800 moving average here. But because of this shark fin, yeah, we could see a potential sell, but I personally now will want to wait for potential buys. But we have a little zone here, so we haven't technically. So as you can see, because the price broke this trend line right here, we still haven't broken this level right here. So we are seeing how the market's reacting to this level, which is important. Because as you can see here, if it does reject this level, which it probably will, I'm going to put my horizontal line down to where it would retrace and touch that trend line here, and that retracement would be on a really good area of support here. So that's what we would be waiting for, and I bet you when it does it, you'll see the 50 moving average come up. If it does it again, come up and meet right along with where the market reverses to. It's just how it works out. I've seen it happen hundreds of times, okay? So that's just the weekly time frame. That's what I'm noticing right there. This is where price could potentially react from. So let's look at the daily time frame now. And let's reset our chart so we can see it better. Now, what we have here is we have a pretty massive divergence on the daily time frame. It's not the best setup as far as I can see, but let's zoom out here and see if there's anything else that the market is telling us. So right in here, I'm gonna remove everything from my chart. So I'm gonna remove the drawings right here. And I wanna see if we can find anything significant that we need to know in the market right here. So that's obviously a level of resistance. So let's look at this right here. And this is actually funny because this could have been a potential buy in here. So as you can see, we're on the daily time frame. And this is where we can get potential moves again. So let's pretend we marked up this trend line and we are right here in the market. So I'm just showing you guys examples of things that I'm always thinking about of what potentially can happen in the market, and then I react to what can happen in the market, okay? So in this instance, price is on a trend line, but it broke its trend line and now it retraced that. And it retraced it on the 50 or on the 800 moving average. So in this instance, what we want to be looking for is we want the market to come down and touch the retracement level here. So pretend the market's right here. I'm going to put my horizontal line right there, and I want it to come down to that horizontal line so that I can see if we have a potential trade when it does come down to that line, okay? So we'll go to the 4-hour time frame now. And this is beautiful, guys. So we have one of our moves coming up on the 4-hour time frame. This is called hidden divergence. Now what's going to happen is price is going to come down to the 50 moving average, hit it perfectly. We're going to be hidden divergence, which means trend continuation divergence, okay? So watch this. It's going to come down to this level right off the 50 moving average and then rise. You'll see it right here. Obviously rose, and our take profit would have been in this zone right here. So these are the moves that I'm constantly looking for, and when it makes sense, I want to be in trades that make sense, and that makes sense to me because that's my setup. That's a trend line retracement on the daily time frame. It's probably a Fibonacci level, which you're going to be learning about later. Let's see if we can pinpoint a Fibonacci level. So it looks like it's on the 50 level right here. Again, you're going to be learning about Fibonacci. For the people that are already trading are going to know what this is, hopefully. If not, you're going to definitely learn. But that's exactly what I look for. I look for areas of significance with my trend lines for things that matter within our strategy and the patterns that we trade, okay? So that's just a perfect example. So let's go back here, and we might even have more confluences on the lower time frame. So we're on the 4 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour. The 1 hour is a divergent move off the 200 moving average. So it gives me a little bit more confidence in this trade that it's going to work out here, okay? So that's the 1 hour, and then the 30-minute here, just divergent, but that 4 hours is definitely a trade that I would take. We have that trend line retracement. We have the 50 Fibonacci level, and then we have that 4 hour hidden divergence that just plays out beautiful. I mean, these moves, I live off these moves. I live off these moves, and I live off shark fins. I live off sells like this. This is what I do. And it's so easy to spot. It's just like putting two and two together. You want to have that confidence in your trade, okay? So we are now done with trend lines. We're going to be going over it more and more. We're going to be doing webinars and practicing more and more, but this is the staple of how I trade. This is, I mean, just a prime example in these two situations. And I swear to God, I didn't even look at the charts before this. This is just what happens in the markets all the time. Areas of confluence with my trading patterns is just money. So very excited. In this next video, I believe we are learning about the TDI, which is down here. And with the TDI, you're going to learn exactly how we use it. So I'm excited. This video should be pretty fun for you guys, especially if you like making money. I hope this helped you. Again, we're going to be going over so much more stuff. So if you like this video, comment below, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and please follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be giving out so much cool content. And if you're taking advantage of this course, kudos to you, because I honestly feel like I could have charged a lot for what I'm giving out. I put a ton of energy into this, and I'm not just saying this, but this is really good information that can help any trader. Okay, so we're going to see you in this next TDI video. I hope you're ready to learn, because we have so much more coming. We'll see you guys.
Be pulling up. Remember they said I'm not good enough. I took all the energy, turned it to greatness. Now look at my life, man, it's looking amazing.